Hello everyone, and welcome to Straight Chilling. Each week we watch and review a horror film for your entertainment. You can send all questions and comments to straightchillingpodcast@gmail.com, and don't forget to keep chilling.
Yeah, we straight chillin', serial killing. 5 cold villains on the mic, got you reeling. 5-star ratings from the floor to the ceiling. If you get your 1 star, no time for feelings. Got a team and DJ, all the 1s and 2s. By the name Elsevier, so don't get confused. So grab a seat by the fire, roast them all with 2. And prepare to hear the legend of the Straight Chillin' crew.
What up, nerds? Welcome to another extreme episode of Straight Chilling. I'll be your host for the evening. My name's Bob. This is going to be episode number 215, recorded on Thursday, May 16th, 2019. Tonight we're going to be talking about a weird little French movie called Inside. That was the poll pick winner, actually. But before we get into the review, let me introduce everyone else on the show. First up, calling in from Washington, D.C., my boy Randy Gandy G. Landy.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? What's up, Tammy? Oh, wait. You haven't been introduced yet. You're not here until
You're not here
introduced.
yet.
Sorry, Tammy.
Everyone as well.
What's up, everybody?
But Tammy is not here, so we don't know how she is.
What's up, Just Bob? How's it going?
Yo, chilling. Next up, calling in from Southern Korea, my boy Soju.
What up? It's your boy, Jejun Stains. Bringing it back. We French today, baby.
French.
We're going to French today?
We all French today. We're all French today.
That's the sound of a southern production of Les Mis getting out, I think.
We
Les
French like toast.
We're all on the barricades.
Les Miserables. I once heard a man say that in real life. Last but not least, joining us on the show,
I believe that.
making her triumphant return, Tammy. What's up, Tam?
Hey guys, what's up?
Chilling.
I don't remember how to say hello in French, so you get the English, girl.
Bonjour.
Oh, bonjour.
It's a-
What the fuck
it's-
is wrong with me? I took French all through high school.
Buongiorno.
Damn, y'all.
Buongiorno, beach base.
Too much wine already.
Nope. Just keep drinking, and then you turn into more French because they make wine.
That's correct.
Right.
I am drinking rosé. That's French, right?
I don't know.
Oh, it's from the Rosé province of France.
Yes, bish.
Bougie. I know they have rosé vodka now, which I'm not sure who that's for, but I'm sure it's for somebody.
I don't know
It's
if
for
we
me.
should-
Okay.
It's for me. I drank it and it's delicious. It's for me. Hello.
I'll have to try it. I'm sure it is tasty.
I love that we have showcased our complete and utter ignorance of French culture in the first few minutes of this show.
Not me.
Sorry, French people.
Okay, Jejun Stains, let's calm your tits a little. Calm the yappers down.
The only fries I eat are freedom fries.
Oh, God.
Dude, I've been to Notre Dame pre-destruction.
Oh,
Twice.
I still think they're suspect personally, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm pretty glad they haven't picked me up. Yeah.
They're
You look
coming
pretty
for you.
guilty with that hood on.
Dude, you know I'm rocking it. Tune into the YouTube to see Jejun Stain's classic hoodie.
Jejun.
And watch me pound cookies.
Oh man, it's worth the free admission. I'll tell you that much.
You just need some
Unfortunately, Rob can't
sunglasses.
watch me eat today.
I'm watching you. I'm watching you right now. Let's go ahead and tackle some housekeeping real quick, y'all. So a reminder, the June poll pick is posted on our Patreon website. If you support us at the $5 level or above, you can vote on a movie we're going to be talking about this June. The theme for June is Korean horror movies, and the movies we have up there for you to vote on are A Tale of Two Sisters, The Wailing, and Thirst. And The Wailing is still winning pretty handily. Juice, I know we only recorded a few days ago. Do you have any new like YouTube or Twitch stuff going on?
Yeah, not really. And since we did 2 episodes this week, I've kind of had to pass up on the Twitch stream this week. So I know. Since we recorded like 3 days ago, no new Twitch news. But if you're interested in some horror video games, check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Straight Chilling Podcast. I will say, I've been working hard on getting those video game reviews done. So probably Monday, keep your eyes out. I'm going to start posting those video game reviews for the past couple months that we've been playing through. So keep an eye out for that on the YouTubes, youtube.com/straight chillin' podcast.
Big
Sweet
enough
deal.
for a custom URL.
Yeah, I know.
That's our motto.
Put it on a shirt.
Look, Mom,
That's
I made
our
it.
motto.
So we're doing our Joe Bob live watch party again this Friday, and she's only got 2 left. We're doing this Friday and next Friday, and that's it for this season. And I'm sure I'll be back. Only time will tell when, but I'm sure he will be back. If you want to join in on that, it's going to be tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We're going to post a link for you to join the live watch party on our Facebook page and on our Twitter just before showtime. So check that out. And also, one last reminder, the live crossover event that we're doing with the Short Box Podcast is going to be this Saturday, May 18th in Jacksonville, Florida, at the Justice Pub at 7 o'clock. And Ryan from GAM is going to be there. He's going to have a bunch of video games set up for everybody to play on
sweet.
before and after the show. We got posters we're selling. We got T-shirts. We got stickers, pins, all kinds of crazy stuff. It's a free event. Come drink some beers, hang out with us. I think it's going to be a really, really fun time.
I'll be there too, so you can come and slap the shit out of me for not remembering bonjour.
If anybody lays a
Slap
hand on
the
Tammy,
shit out of me? Are you?
Okay, I just like to be
Tammy's
slapped.
advocating with violence on me. Okay, all right.
It's fitting for the fucking violent movie we just watched.
it's true. Fucking French people.
It's true.
It's true, Stains.
Are we really going with fucking French people as the way to lead into this movie?
Yeah, Rob, come on. Jejun stains over here. Come on.
Hey,
Okay.
I've got some French in me. It's all cool.
They've been through enough, okay?
Well, we'll talk about that perhaps. That's it for the housekeeping. Pretty much. Let's go ahead and get into what we've been watching this week.
Hey gang, what you been watching?
Yo, Randy, what you been watching?
Oh boy, I've been watching a few things, trying to get the most out of my Criterion subscription. So I watched Blood Simple finally, which I had not seen, the first Coen Brothers film, and it was quite fucking good. I enjoyed the fuck out of that movie. Let's see, I watched. Have you guys heard of this movie, The Sisters Brothers?
No.
Familiar with this?
No.
It's John C. Reilly and oh god, what's this fucker's name? I'm blanking on it, but it's a western basically, and it's sort of like a dark comedy western.
Oh shit, I have heard of that. It's Joaquin Phoenix.
Joaquin Phoenix, thank you. I kept wanting to say James Franco, and that is not who it is. Anyway, so they're basically like they're outlaws, like carrying out a job for a boss. And just shit goes wild. It's kind of like part road trip movie in that way, where they're kind of like just traversing the area, and some really fucked up things happen. But there's also like a lot of like really funny dialogue because there's like conflict between the brothers. John C. Reilly discovers what a toothbrush is. It's great.
The director's French.
Oh shit!
Whoa.
One of them escargot westerns.
Yep.
Let's see.
Coined.
I've also been watching, and I don't want to get too deep into this, but I have viewed Game of Thrones. I am current on it,
Randy.
and complaints exist. We're not going
Randy's
there.
been riding that train hard. Damn, dude, you've been like carrying
guys-
the torch and everything.
You guys are my outlet because I don't. There's nobody like in my immediate vicinity that I know that watches Game of Thrones. Becky doesn't watch it, and we just got to town. So like this needs to be like.
Damn.
The Slack is my outlet for all of my nerd rage. So if you want to see my complaints, check out our Slack channel.
You'll
There's a
love
lot
it.
of them.
You'll love it.
It's pages.
It literally
and
is
then-
pages.
It is. It's dumb. But yeah, and then the last thing I've been watching. Have you guys heard of this show on Netflix called I Think You Should Leave? With I think his name's. Oh no, I can't remember the comedian's name. it's a comedian's vehicle. It's like a sketch comedy sort of thing, somewhat in the vein of like a Tim and Eric, but not really focused on like late night TV or anything like that. It's very like absurdist comedy, and it's been kicking my ass. It's very funny.
Tim Robinson?
I can't really. Tim Robinson, that's what it was. Who's somebody I'm not familiar with, but there are a bunch of people in that show that I am familiar with, and I gotta say, like I'm a big fan of it. It's a lot of like taking awkward social situations to the most extreme form of them. It's like you think The Office is cringeworthy comedy. This is like some of these sketches are like, holy shit, like it's so overblown that you can't help but laugh. It's really great. So those are my 4 that I could think of.
Sweet. Hey, Juice, what you been watching?
Bob, I did it.
What'd you do?
I watched Green Inferno.
Oh. Shit. Okay. Okay, lay it on. How was it?
Had a bloodlusty week, huh?
So actually it's been an intense week. So here's, and it's been a while since I've seen Hostel. I know we were talking about Eli Roth and everything like that. What I can tell from Eli Roth is he makes this movie and he just makes everybody so insufferable so that you're okay with him completely slaughtering them in the second half of the movie, which is rough because in Green Inferno, you don't even like it's an hour and a half movie and you don't even get to the tribe like after like 45 minutes.
Holy
so
cow.
like this whole thing is just these insufferable like college kids that he makes like into these like caricatures that are just like such like pains in the asses that like you're just waiting for them to get slaughtered by this tribe. I mean, that's his whole thing. And from what I can tell, the dude doesn't really have an original thought in his brain. It's like he can't tell what kind of movie he wants to make. So it's this weird mix of like schlock, but also like some like it's violent, but sometimes it's so ridiculous that I was just laughing. I was like, because I also watched Inside this week, which is a really brutal film, but like done well,
done Frenchly.
And so trying to watch Eli Roth do this thing where he's like, I'm gonna shock you. I'm like, bitch, please. Like, I'm over here watching Inside. Like, you're going to have to bring more than this shit. And it really is. It just seems like this dude is making movies to pay tribute to movies that he liked like back in the day, and it doesn't seem like he's particularly like good. No, it just doesn't seem like he's particularly good at it. Like it doesn't seem like he has like an original thought in his brain. It was produced by Eli Roth, written by Eli Roth, directed by Eli Roth. Of course, the dialogue's terrible. I don't know why these bitches can't lock their dialogue down, but it's just. So that was, I know we like went on this thing where I was like, I don't really know much about Eli Roth, so I dipped in. It was not good, but it was a different kind of bad than Rob Zombie. I know that's what we were comparing. So I finally got Green Inferno. Not good.
Good. You got it out of the way so that I don't have to watch it. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Was there anything else?
Yep. No, that's it.
All right. Yo, Tammy, what you been watching?
Yo, Rob. Andy, if you want to hook up after this, I watch Game of Thrones and I have words. So let's talk about it.
Is one of them Dracarys?
Oh my God. There are a lot of words. Yeah, that could be one. But my best friend who watches it and we text like constantly about it. She's in Italy right now, so I haven't even been able to talk to her about the last episode. So please,
Fancy. I
got venting to do. But yeah, so Game of Thrones. I've been watching that, keeping up with it, trying not to stab myself in the eye. But the main thing that I've been watching, binged it all because it was like 5 hours max. It's 10 episodes called Dead to Me on Netflix. Have you guys talked about? I'm having a stroke.
Is that
have you guys
Christina
talked
Applegate?
About it? Yes.
Yes. And Lindsay Weir, whatever her name. Can't think of it.
Linda Cardellini, Velma.
Yeah,
I saw a trailer for that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Freaks and
I'm
Geeks,
interested in that.
familiar. Oh, it was great.
Linda Cardellini is like I love watching her work or whatever. She's such like a sweet presence or whatever, which makes it so interesting that she's at least being somewhat set up as an antagonist in the show. It seems like from the trailer.
Yeah, no,
or not, maybe not an antagonist, but at least some sort of like just like dark secret sort of person.
Sure, yeah, like she has secrets. She's not saying everything that she could be saying, but yeah, it's good. And there's surprise James Marsden. I don't think he's been like in the trailers very much, so going into it was a surprise for me, and that was very exciting.
Well, he's been busy working on that new hit blockbuster Sonic the Hedgehog, so I'm surprised.
Yeah, that looks real good.
I imagine he's got to be filming like the next season for Westworld too, right?
I would think so.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe. But it was surprise James Marsden, which is great. But Christina Applegate, I love her. And like she brings her true life story of getting a mastectomy into the script, which is beautiful and sad and really great, and makes it just feel very interesting and real. I enjoy it and I recommend it.
Cool.
And then everything else is pretty much just Bravo TV shows like Vanderpump Rules and The Real Housewives. So nothing's changed.
Celeb reality.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's the real whore right there. True Housewives of California or whatever.
You're close. You're close.
Thank you. Thanks. Cool. I watched a couple different things. I checked out the Mother's Day episode of Into the Dark, that Hulu show.
Oh yeah,
it's called All That We Destroy.
And
pretty good. It's like mid-tier Into the Dark for me. I think I recommend it. It's worth checking out, but it's not as good as the trailer kind of made it out to be, in my opinion. Anyways, I don't know. Other people may like it a little more, but it does get it gets kind of like repetitive. I mean, that's sort of the nature of the story in a way, but you've got this fucked up kid and his mom is trying to help, but she's like wildly misguided, and really this kid's a little monster, and she just like refuses to accept it, even though she like just allows him to continue murdering. The old Babadook. Yeah, kind of. In a way.
No, she saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
It's pretty cool, I suppose. I also watched a movie. This is my Vinegar Strokes pitch for the week here.
But hang on. Let's do the count for the week. How many Vinegar Strokes you bought this week?
None. So last episode, I said I bought one, and then this is the one that I bought. I haven't bought any since then. But tomorrow they're having their sale.
Gotcha.
So probably going to buy some shit.
Oh, okay. How many you plan to buy? Well, we'll do it. Next cast, we'll do the count.
Yeah.
We got to get the vinegar.
We gotta block out an extra half hour for you to break down your strokes.
No, I'm jotting all this down for Rob's intervention. So this is important work here.
Thanks,
Rob.
man.
Nobody needs an extra copy of The Intruder. Got the one. Be happy.
I only have it on DVD. I need it on Blu-ray and 4K. Okay, here we go. So Night Train to Terror is the Vinegar Strokes that I watched this week. Excuse me. It was weird, man. So you basically have God and the devil riding in a train car through outer space, and they're debating whether or not humanity is good or evil, basically. And it's an anthology movie, so they have like 3 different little stories where like God and the devil are like, well, let's see how these humans treat this particular experience and whether or not they come out good or evil at the end. So you will like watch these 3 things, and in between each one, God and the devil kind of they continue their debate. And the 3 like shorts that they show you are just complete nonsense, like crazy nothingness. It's like there's a ton of gore, but the plot makes 0 sense whatsoever. And of course, everybody's evil, completely fucking evil.
Even God.
No. Just like real life.
Yeah, just like real life.
Such a parable. I'm so glad Vinegar Strokes is here to tell us that the world's evil.
What year was it from?
Rob.
I'd have to look. It's like 1982 or something. Let me look.
Okay, so it's like older.
What's up, Juice? Yeah, it is older.
I wanted to ask you about that Into the Dark series. Are they just going to keep that rolling, or are they planning to stop once they've done like their full year? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Since it's so spaced out, I didn't know if they were just going to be like, well, here comes like, you know, the next Christmas episode or, you know, whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they'll probably announce whether or not it's picked up for another season or not as this one gets a little closer to the end, I think this was number 9 or so. So they've only got like 3 more. So we should know relatively soon. And it's weird to say a season because a season is just an entire year, you know, but
yeah.
It's more volumes almost.
Yeah. And Night Train and Terror came out 1985. That was the year.
Good year.
Yeah.
A nice hidden gem there from our Vinegar Strokes. Appreciate you guys.
Preach. I also
you should
watched,
probably sponsor us since Bob just like pretty much like keeps you guys afloat.
Come on,
You
Vinegar
guys
Strokes.
sponsoring us is basically giving Rob a slight discount.
Yeah.
that would be very much appreciated. I also watched the last
Actually,
thing I
no,
watched.
don't sponsor us.
Oh God.
Rob needs a
like-
different kind of sponsor.
What if the company was on its like last leg and then all of a sudden you come in and are just flushing all this money at them and they're like, yes, we have another year.
Thanks, dog.
We got our golden goose.
I just backed that Brinks truck right up to the front door, opened that bitch wide. So I revisited the 1999 Godzilla because it just came out on 4K and I had to own it. And that movie's fantastic in a way that it's not like great, but I love the shit out of it. I refuse to call it a guilty pleasure because it's just a pleasure. I don't know.
Wait, I thought it was 97.
No, I think it's
99.
I think it's 99. Yeah.
No, man.
Titanic was 97.
Isn't
Oh.
Korn on that soundtrack or some shit?
No, I don't think so.
No?
No, it's
Okay,
got
must be confusing.
Jamiroquai.
Man.
Jamiroquai.
Hey, what
That's
year?
like a-
Underground. Anyway, yeah,
Matthew,
Godzilla.
Keep going.
Such a mark for Jamiroquai songs, I guess.
Godzilla, being like the largest creature that has ever walked the face of the earth, is so freaking good at just hiding, like completely vanishing to where nobody
In
can
New
find
York.
it. Not to
In
mention
New
in New
York.
York City, yeah, and it leaves these massive footprints everywhere it goes. How do you lose it? Where does it go?
And its eggs are huge. Wait, where does it lay its eggs? Like in the sports stadium, right? Or some shit like
Yeah, it's like
baseball
underneath
stadium or
Madison
something?
Square Garden.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
So nobody will ever visit there.
It is
Yeah, great.
terrible.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's really
How do the effect? You know what? I forgot that they essentially just turned the end of the movie into Jurassic Park, where it's like the little ones are just raptors running around.
Yeah, it's
Little
kind
baby.
of Jurassic Park. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's good.
The old night.
watch it.
It's not. Don't
Matthew
watch
Broderick's in it.
that is not a unanimous decision.
It's yeah,
it. If
and
you weren't born in the '90s, you don't need to see that shit.
and it's got freaking Hank Azaria in it.
Yeah.
Come on.
Hey, that's okay. I mean, the man's in a lot of things. You don't
Of
have
all,
to do this movie.
especially
Come
of
on.
all the Godzilla movies you could watch, that one should be like
God.
really low.
That's basically not a Godzilla movie. There's nothing connecting it to the other Godzilla movies.
Doesn't matter. It's still great. That's it for me, though. That's all I've been watching this week. Let's go ahead and get into the main event and talk about Inside. We'll kick it off with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Alrighty, Inside from 2007. This was directed by 2 people, actually, Alexandre Bustillo and Julian Maury. The plot synopsis is as follows. 4 months after the death of her husband, a woman on the brink of motherhood is tormented in her home by a strange woman who wants her unborn baby.
That
Let me get that baby.
was French for baby.
It is. So,
Baby, huh?
Now I'm just gonna do Dexter's
Is
Laboratory
that
right now. Palais du fromage. That's where I live now.
do you speak cheese?
We're sorry, French people.
Sorry.
I think
We got a
you
lot
said
of those
do you-
Frenchers that listen to this
You
podcast.
No,
Cheese.
omelette du fromage is cheese omelet.
She said parley du fromage. I prefer that.
Oh.
I much prefer that.
Parlay.
Do you speak cheese? Havarti blue.
Dude, I speak.
It's good.
Is it good?
It's good.
And now I'm going to an Italian stereotype accent.
That must
Doing
be
the right
Nigel with the brie.
Jesus Christ, this is
It's
a shit
me,
show.
Randy.
Jesus Christ. Am I right?
Very French, no, yes.
No, yes. Now you're Borat.
There's no. This is like a fluid devolution into madness.
No,
Somebody
yes.
stop it. My God.
We're very cultured. So cultured. So inside, it's a French movie. Have y'all seen this joint before? What was in your brain when you were going into it, and would you recommend people check it out? Tammy, would you care to kick us off?
Sure. I have not seen this before. I would recommend it as a baseline. I would not recommend it to someone who maybe can't have children or going through weird pregnancy things and they're like uncomfortable
Or
in
somebody who
pregnancy
lives in
situations.
America right now.
Yeah.
I would not suggest it to someone like, right. Or yes, exactly right, Andy. Or someone who doesn't like belly buttons, like my boo Tyler. I had to yell at him to look away just because I knew where something was going, and it was really bad.
Look away.
But aside from all of
Look away.
that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it
I'm
was
like hyping it up in my head much more than I'm sure what it was.
No, it truly was because he doesn't like horror movies. So he wasn't even like sitting and watching it with me. He was coming downstairs every so often to get a new beer. And he happened to come down like at the belly button moment. And I was like, babe, you got to look away. You got to look away. And he was like, no, I'm strong. And I was like, you got to fucking look away. And so he finally looked away. It was fine.
Look at the flowers, Tyler. Look at the flowers.
I was like, oh God, just drink your beer. Don't look at this. But other than the intense gore that you guys put me through, I would recommend it. I thought it was very beautifully done. And for the amount of time, the runtime of the film, I was never bored. There was not one scene in it that I was like, oh, can we please move this fuck along? So,
Nice.
yeah.
Sweet. Randy, what about you, man?
Yes, I have previously viewed this film. That's why I chose it for the poll pick, but I'm very glad that everyone agreed with me. Or that democracy agreed with me anyway.
Me too, Randy.
So, like, I just felt like from the concept of motherhood, this is a kind of an intense horror film to go with, which is why I chose it. And like, just like the intensity of this movie in general. I saw this movie before I really knew or understood what like French New Extremity was, and like I didn't really know that's what this was or categorized as. So I had like a very rough first go of it, and I just kind of like, part of me just really wanted to see it again because I enjoyed it. Would I recommend it? Yeah, but you gotta have steel fucking stomach. Don't come into this shit half cocked, because it's like, and I say that as like, it's not the most gruesome movie you'll ever see by any means, but it's up there. It's up there. You just gotta know what you're in for. If you don't, you might be setting yourself up for some bad times.
I wish that I would have had your warning before watching it. I really do. I mean, I still would have watched it, but Rob did not warn me at all.
Did I not say anything?
No, you said nothing. You were
Bummer.
like, hey, want to come over on
it's
X date?
okay.
And we're like watching this movie. It's called Inside. It's totally fine. Like sometimes it's funny, you know.
Damn, Bob.
It's actually more funny than scary.
You'll laugh.
Right.
You'll laugh the whole time. It's a laugh
the
riot.
whole time. It's Branch. You'll love it.
Cool. Randy, did you recommend, obviously, because you chose the damn movie?
I do, but with the caveat that you got to know it more a little bit.
Gotcha.
It's gory.
Gotcha. Juice, how you feel?
I didn't know too much about this movie except that it was part of the like French extreme horror, which I dig on everything I've seen so far. I think I always say like, oh, I really enjoyed that, from what I can remember. So I was excited to go in, not knowing too much about it, and I liked it. Yeah, it's another one of those movies that, like, you know, in casual conversation, I feel weird, like, bringing up, you know, like, oh, I saw this, you know, I saw this Inside the other day. I really enjoyed it. And then I'd be like, oh, shit, what do these people think of me that I just met or some shit? But
you're probably not going to tell your moms that you watched this movie.
Yeah, but I did enjoy it. I mean, it's hard to recommend. I mean, I would recommend to horror fans, if you got the stomach for it, then I thought it was like a solid film for watching. Real cultured, like, you know, get your culture on. They speak French and everything.
What?
It'll change your life. Change your worldview.
Hey.
It'll force you to read English.
It's a great opener if you're on a first date. Just like, yeah, ever seen a movie called Inside? No? What about Martyrs? No?
What about Antichrist? No?
Yeah.
Triple
Rape
feature.
Me? No? Never.
Good Lord, is there a movie called Rape Me?
There is. There
Oh
is.
my God.
I did not know that.
viewed it.
I would not bring it. At least this one's called Inside. You can just
Yeah,
kinda,
exactly. Like, you're going out of shit if you use the word rape me on a first
Yes.
date.
So I was watching Rape Me the other day. Real good.
Real good. It's a thinker. That really makes you
Anyway,
And here we are.
Let's continue. Yeah, I recommend Inside as well. I think it's really funny that when we give people like a really jacked up option on the poll, it like tends to win. And also whenever people like just outright pick a movie like through Patreon for us to review, oftentimes it is pretty extreme. Like, it's interesting that I don't know, I get the sense that maybe people prefer to hear us talk about it and like save them from having to watch it, perhaps. I could be wrong about that, but
Wasn't it up against
Maybe
two?
it's a horror fan.
What were the other two movies?
do feel
Carrie
a little-
and...
the other two were Carrie and Psycho, so they're like
Psycho.
pretty well
Okay, so
trodden.
yeah, like pretty
I think
mainstream,
that's
like
the thing.
well-viewed
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
What are our dumbasses going to add to those conversations? Let's talk about
We'll never know,
Inside.
Randy.
I wanted to talk about
Never.
Sissy.
We can never pick
Yeah.
them again.
Nope.
It's all or nothing.
Nope.
Also, I wanted to point out that Rob brought Tammy on because he's like, we really need a female perspective. And I told Bob, I already know what women want and think and have that perspective on lock. So, I mean, I'm happy that Tammy's here, but I mean, I feel like it's a little, you know, extra added on.
Okay, no, you do bring up a good point, Juice. That was the caveat that Rob gave. He was like, hey, you want to come on and record for Inside? Like, I can only mansplain pregnancy like so much.
Yeah.
But that was it. There was no, it's brutal and completely violent.
Rob's really afraid there's going to be a segment that he doesn't know about where he has to describe how the vagina works.
I just think that maybe some people who listen to us might get tired of hearing like three white dudes run their mouths about how awful
think-
pregnancy is, you know?
I appreciate
yeah.
appreciate you.
It's real hard.
We know.
I mean, you did just get back from Mississippi. Are they doing an abortion ban too? Tell us.
Not yet. But, you know, it is the
Give it a
South,
couple
so-
days.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So, yeah, we all recommend this beast. I'm going to drop the spoiler warning and we'll get into it.
Spoiler warning.
Oh, we going insides. All right. This movie starts off with a digital fetus. You start off inside the
Ooh,
womb.
band name. There we go.
That's good. That's a good
Yes.
name.
I feel like it sounds
We
like
are
that.
digital fetus.
Sounds like Emotron, or it reminds me of Emotron.
That's where I was going.
Digital fetus.
So this French lady gets in a car accident and she's pregnant and her husband is riding a shotgun and he dies in the car accident and she's sort of obviously worried for her baby's life. And like
Obviously.
when you are inside of her womb, you see the baby kind of like shake around as if that's when the car accident happens. It's like kind of horrible to look
So,
at.
did you have a like when you say it was horrible? Do you mean like it was bothered you?
Yeah, it It was
Just to see
Okay,
the
because I got the
trailer.
opposite reaction on that.
Well,
Becky-
yeah, I was gonna
Becky and
say
I were
I didn't
watching
think it looked good.
It struck me as like a Radiohead music video.
Yeah, me too, man.
It's very early 2000 CG. That's kind of the issue. And I'm sure it was as good as they could have it at the time, but for me, it really kind of seemed like Muse should be playing over it or something.
Yeah, I completely agree. That was actually.
That was the
I
weak
would say
part.
that was the worst part of the movie for me because they kept bringing it back. Like, oh, look at this baby inside. Like, especially when there's like a lot of tension going on, like the baby's scared. It's like, I don't need to see this. Like,
It just didn't fit like
Narratively,
artistically with the style
ideal.
at all.
Right, yeah, it is.
Right.
It doesn't fit whatsoever.
There's no other CG in the movie,
Right.
and it's
Yeah.
early 2000 CG, so it's like it's a little glaring, especially to our modern eyes.
I mean, I was drinking
especially
last
to
night,
show
of
it
course.
so often, and like the baby has like a reactions to what's going on. It's like
That's why, like, I wish, like, I just like part of me wishes that this movie had come out like this year. I know they made an American remake that was panned pretty widely. I haven't seen it. I don't know if they tried the same thing or not. But if they were to remake it now, or like just be able to remake it with that, like everything the same, but that CG just upgraded in a serious way, a la George Lucas. Can we get a George Lucas version of this movie?
Well, and I don't even think you have to be a female
Special
to
edition.
realize it, but were you guys thrown off that the baby looks exactly the same at 4 months that it does 4 months later at 8 months? Because we time travel
Great
after
point.
That's true.
The
I didn't
baby
even
looks
think
the
about
exact
that.
same.
Yeah.
You don't look like that as a 4-month-old
No.
fetus.
You true.
That's a great
You
point.
true.
I think-
Just saying, but I was drinking last night,
that's
so
why
I
we
did write
bring the
down
ladies
impressive
on.
CGI.
Ladies have a better
2007.
sense of time.
You did. Did you say you broke down?
No, I said I was drinking last night, so my first little thing on my notes page is
Oh.
impressive CGI for 2007. Like I
not
would
bad.
fucking know, but I was just trying to. I was trying to start
Real
off
impressed.
strong.
You got eyeballs. You're allowed to. You're allowed
I mean,
to have
2007.
opinions.
That was when did the like Lord of the Rings and shit come out? Like I know, like this movie didn't have that kind of budget, and they
I think
used
like
ligatures and shit.
2004, 2005, maybe.
I have no idea.
So like even then the standard, like or not the standard, but like it was not near the upper peaks of its technology even for the time. I don't think.
No, or like the Star Wars prequels. That was what 2001.
Yeah.
So think about
something
their
like that.
CGI kind of thing.
I wish that baby was replaced with Jar Jar. That's the George Lucas.
I wish the baby just wasn't in it at all. Then I think it would have been
yeah.
perfect.
If they, but I kind of like that there's a little bit of a mislead with the baby, which I guess we'll get to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's kind of truck along. I mean that's really the setup. So this lady she goes to the doctor's office and it kind of time jumps 4 months like Tammy said, and she gets the baby checked out. The doctor seems to believe it's going to be fine. And it's Christmas Eve and she's going to go in the hospital on Christmas Day to be induced and actually give birth to the child. And she goes home just to like be home alone on Christmas Eve and like she doesn't want to be bothered. And her boss is going to come pick her up in the morning and take her to have her kid. And this creepy ass lady comes around knocking on her door, making up some bullshit reason that she needs to come inside and use her phone. And Sarah, who's like our main protagonist, she's like, no, my husband's in bed. He's asleep. He's got to work early in the morning. And the creepy lady on the other side of the door is like, your husband's not sleeping, Sarah. He's dead. And you're like, oh, who is
Damn,
this
it's
crazy
the crypt
bitch?
keeper.
That was exactly right, except it was in French.
Yeah, that is exactly right. Fromage. So I don't know. That's kind of the setup. Also, the nurse when
She
when
says parley fondue from
Du
Parlez-vous
fromage.
fromage, Sarah?
the nurse when Sarah goes to the hospital, the nurse that like sits down next to her in the waiting room and just like lights up a smoke and starts going on about how she like lost a baby.
How
and-
the first baby was the worst.
yeah, just like the worst bedside fucking manners ever.
Couple
ever.
things to note there. Sarah was sitting like behind the Christmas tree. Did you know? Like half of her body was covered by the Christmas tree. And I definitely thought that the nurse was going to be the crazy fucking lady come to her house.
I honestly, on first sight, and it's been a while since I've seen it, so I didn't remember specifics. But on first sight, when later on, there's a lady outside her window or whatever, and you just get a very very brief glimpse of her face, I thought that was her. I thought it was a woman.
Similar, yeah.
Otherwise, and that's another thing. Like, I don't know what that woman's deal was or what her purpose was in the movie, other than just to like remind us just how scared this newly single pregnant woman must be. It's like we can imagine that. Like, we don't need this sadist.
Hard, guys. Okay, sometimes things just don't work out the way you
guys
think.
Don't understand what it's like to hold a human life in your stomach. But
here we go.
Randy, what you got in there?
Hold it in your kangaroo pouch, if you will.
I will say, put it into perspective. How terrifying would it be to be pregnant, lose your spouse? Like, it's already terrifying. Yeah. I feel, okay, speaking personally, not for every woman. I would be scared as shit to learn that I was pregnant, number one. Number two, I would be very scared as shit to lose my spouse, and now I'm in it alone. I feel like it's like when you get pregnant and you're excited, maybe, and then like you find out that you're having twins, and it's like, oh fuck, now I got two of them. This is shitty.
I'm fucked.
But then like, yay, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm Octomom.
It's real hard.
Nah, it's real hard.
The struggle.
So that struggle.
Y'all didn't know what you were getting into inviting me.
I don't know what that nurse's deal was. Like her purpose in the movie. I'm really unclear.
Yeah,
I think it was just setting up kind of like macabre, because she tells a story about how she was in labor for like 18 hours and then it just ended up stillborn. So you're like, oh well, fuck.
And they're smoking and smiling, and she never stops smiling even when the lady turns and calls her a twat. Which was a good move on her part, if I may add.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't read too much into it. It's just kind of setting up this fucked up movie, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's certainly like it's part of the setup, but like I just wonder like how valuable that scene was in the grand scheme. And it's pretty clear that this woman's in bad place. But
there's another kind of random scene it's actually right before the crazy lady knocks on her door. It's like kind of foreshadowing in a way, I guess. But Sarah falls asleep on the couch. She has this crazy nightmare where she just starts puking all over the floor, and it looks like she's vomiting milk, just like straight milk. And then she falls over, and the freaking baby crawls out of her mouth.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Shit is insane.
Yeah, that was insane. I was like, okay, this is where it really kicks up, y'all.
Yeah. That's pretty early in the movie. Like, holy shit.
Well, it's not a long movie. It's like, its runtime is like 80 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty short.
It's a short movie.
Packs a punch.
Yeah. Which, I mean, they stay in this house like through 90% of the movie. They just get locked in. This is totally, to me, it was like the French Strangers is what it felt like.
Yeah, just way more hardcore. But yeah,
I mean, way more hardcore. But I mean, it follows a lot of the similar, like, same kind of beats, except it doesn't rely as much on like the tension, because like this lady, she kind of just saunters in and then does whatever the fuck she wants. Really, like they don't. I was surprised, like, they don't shy away from her or anything. Like, she gets a lot of dialogue, and, like, she interacts with a lot of different people. It's not this, like, kind of creeping around that The Strangers is, but, it, like, a lot of the same beats, because, like, at one point, like, the mom, like, the real mom, like, runs in, like, oh, where's my daughter? And, like, accidentally gets fucking stabbed through the throat because her daughter's trying to, like, protect herself.
So brutal.
Thinking it's the crazy lady. And it just reminded me of, like, in The Strangers when, like, the friend comes in like, hey, I'm here to pick you up, and they, like, blast him away with a shotgun.
They blow away Glenn Howard, and Glenn Howard
from It's Always Sunny.
Dennis. I always forget it's Dennis.
No, that's a good point, though. Like, I also had that same thought in this movie both times I watched it, which is like, in any American, home invasion movie, they're going to hold off on showing you this person's face, no matter if they're someone you know or not. They're going to hold off on showing you face for, if not the entire movie, then at least the first 2/3. And like this movie, like pretty much as soon as you know there's a home invader, you see her face, and she's just like a lady. She's just a lady on a mission to fuck with this other lady.
She's a lady. Yeah.
And you do get, there is a reveal about who this woman is, like in real, like there is a reason that she's doing this, so to speak, or a motivation, but you don't find that out till the end. So in a way, it still kind of has that. It's just that the mask is just anonymity, but it doesn't. It's just interesting. It's kind of refreshing almost. It just makes it sort of unique that you have this home invader who's not really hiding. It's sort of like in Funny Games.
Funny Games, yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
It's like Funny Games in that respect, except that movie had, they didn't have a motivation in the end, even so.
I have to say, as a first-time watcher,
I just thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, as a first-time watcher, I was refreshed that it wasn't supernatural, that it was like an actual human being, because I didn't watch a trailer. I didn't want to prepare myself. So really, I was just reading essentially the back of the box, and it could have been supernatural or real, and I was happy that it was real.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, you think about other new French extremity movies like High Tension. I don't know if you've seen that, Tammy, but I know we have.
It's one of my faves.
You do?
Yeah. I do, yeah.
So that's one that I like, but I had like, it wasn't my favorite of that genre or anything like that, but it does that thing, and spoiler alert, where, there's a twist at the end. There's a twist at the end in which, spoiler alert, again.
Don't spoil it, Andy. Don't spoil it. Oh, if you haven't seen...
warned it.
Okay, all right. If you haven't seen High Tension, skip ahead like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're good.
So the lady, like, there's a thing that happens. I'm not going to spoil it. There's a thing that happens in that movie that sort of like turns everything on its head. And this movie doesn't really do that. It does that in a much lighter way, but it's not like such a high level, like...
Yeah, it doesn't change anything, really. It doesn't change
the scenario, except that it gives credence or some level of credence to the attacker. Like, that's it.
Honestly, they could have left it out, and it wouldn't have made much difference to me.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of liked it. But yeah, it wouldn't.
Like, I didn't mind it, but I'm just saying, like, if it had just been like, oh, crazy lady showed up at the door that wants a baby, like, that would have been fine too. Honestly, like, it wouldn't have changed how I felt.
Arguably
about the film.
creepier.
What we're actually talking about is at the very end, you come to find out that the lady who breaks into the house and is killing all these people, she was in the other car at the beginning of the movie that had the car accident. She was also pregnant and lost her child, so she's coming to take this lady's baby.
Yeah, because also, like, the other lady kind of does have this attitude of where, like, she has lost her spouse, she's young, and she kind of, like, doesn't really want it, or, like, maybe it's implied a lot that obviously she's scared and she's dealing with this, and so, like, the other lady's whole thing is like, you took my baby away, and you don't, like, you're not even appreciating, like, the one that you have, so, like, I'm gonna take it or whatever.
Which is actually, like, the way that this movie does end, which I'm going to jump all the way to the end. The last shot of this movie, basically, like, the killer, the home invader, has successfully murderized everybody in the movie and has her face all fucked up and is bleeding everywhere, and she cuts the baby out of our protagonist, Sarah. So, like, the thing about that is, like, there's that motivation is kind of... you have to have that motivation, I think, in order to justify her, like, not even justify, but just sort of, like, explain why, like what the stakes really are. This woman doesn't just want to, like, kill a random person and it just happens this lady's pregnant. She wants the baby out of your fucking stomach, and that's clear pretty much, not right away, but pretty much right away, because the first act of violence that is committed is she takes these scissors, which are her weapon of choice, and starts, like, cutting into the woman's pregnant belly.
Her belly button.
So right away, she's after this baby. She wants to kill everybody, and like, she wants to kill this woman. She wants to kill whoever's in her way in order to get at this baby, but she wants that baby alive. So I guess you wouldn't need to be told about the car wreck for that, but I think it adds credence to that a little bit. And it's also just, like, again, refreshing that, like, we see a lot of movies at this point where it's like The Strangers, where at the end, the whole, like, the summation line, the thesis is, sometimes things just happen. There's no explanation, which is fine and good for itself, but it happens a lot in movies now, since Halloween being, like, the first I can think of, but then, like, The Strangers and other movies where people are just sort of, like, operating and doing horrible things to people, and you never really get an answer, and you're meant to be satisfied with that, and often you are. This movie doesn't even go that route. It gives you that motivation, but it conceals it well enough from the beginning, and makes a strong enough showing throughout to where you don't necessarily have to have it either in order to have a satisfying, like, journey. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean.
Did anyone else think the creepy woman who's coming to steal the baby, did anyone think she was kind of hot?
Nah, not really. I thought she was fucking scary.
Before she started like myrtleizing people, I was like,
she looked all right.
you're kind of cute for an older woman.
She's
I don't know.
wise.
I'm into the gap in the teeth. I don't know why. I'm like, all right,
Yeah, I guess she.
You like the Gap?
I'm into it.
You want to fall into the Gap?
The
Not the
only thing
clothing
was
store.
I couldn't
Fuck
really
the Gap.
tell. I couldn't really tell her age, and the whole thing about her, like, oh, she was pregnant in the other car, is because at one point, like, somebody comes to visit her and like thinks that she's like the girl's mom. I mean, she does
Right.
look older
Yeah.
than the girl that we're dealing with, and so that was the only thing that's kind of throwing me off a little bit. I was like, well, how old is this woman supposed to be? Because she does
She's
look
supposed to
like
have a
she doesn't
baby.
look old, but she does look older. Like when the guy thinks it's like her mom, the girl's mom, that they're in the house, like I was like, that's not unreasonable. Like, I don't know.
Compared to what the girl's actual mom looked like, it's definitely not, because they look of the same
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
One thing
But she
about
actually might
this-
look more like. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say.
I just didn't know, like, go,
Okay.
go.
Okay. I don't like. So this lady breaks into the house, right? And she's not. There's nothing special about her that we know. She's just like a normal lady who lost a baby, and she wants a baby to replace it. But she can lay absolute waste to like 3 cops. This girl's mom, her freaking boss, and this like dude who was rioting that was arrested in the cop car, and this lady Sarah, like it's no fucking problem.
She's stealthy as
just
fuck.
like
yeah.
laying through everybody,
well,
and it's
yeah,
like,
but it's not like she's going out like guns a-blazing, though. I mean, like, every kill, like, seemed almost reasonable to me. Maybe like the very last cop, but it's always one by one. Like, okay, so the boss is, I think, the first one she kills, and he comes in and like he thinks it's her mom, and like she's kind of like laying low, and it's not until
The real
so
mom
then
comes
the
in.
real mom comes in when they're talking, and the mom goes upstairs, and then the daughter actually kills the mom.
Yeah.
So that's an
Just to add an
accident.
extra
What was that,
level
like
of
a-
tragedy.
Was that like a hairpin that she murdered her with, or like a
I
really
think so.
large
I think
Yeah,
it's
something
chopstick?
like that, yeah. Like one of those, like, yeah.
a hair
Like a
chop.
Japanese hairpin, almost.
Chopping.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah, we know women. We know the things.
You know, I should just leave. Justin's got it. Sergio's got it.
I'm pretty sure
It's
that was a
fine.
tampon. Wasn't that a tampon?
Fuck off.
Yeah, that's what they look like.
So, but then, okay, so she kills the boss, but that's because the boss is like going upstairs to check on like what's going on. She like stabs him from the back, right? So, I mean, that's
Yeah,
reasonable.
he gets
okay.
it real bad.
He
Actually,
gets it in the knee.
and in the dick.
Oh,
She stabs
yeah.
him
And in the
right in the dick.
Oh, and the
And
dick.
cuts his
I
throat.
forgot about that.
And stabs him in the face. He gets like he
Oh,
gets
it's so
jacked
bad.
up.
He's like a good dude. Like he's
Yeah.
he's an upstanding gent.
He
Well,
was
he's
also
alright.
like still alive, right? Like,
Yeah, he
I thought he
gets
was
up
dead
again.
on the stairs. She's dragging him down the stairs, down to the living room, la-di-da, while Sarah's hiding in the fucking bathroom. And then he like comes back alive. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that sucks.
Gets
Why
it
are
in
you
the
still
face.
alive?
Yeah, getting stabbed in the dick with some scissors is
You got
not
it.
chill.
When you got a torn scrot, the last thing you want to be is alive.
Ooh.
I'll tell you that.
That's so true.
Randy
Well,
would
Let
know.
me go ahead
Randy would know,
tell you, ladies. It's bad, okay? You think pregnancy is bad.
Just try a torn scrotum, lady.
Just try getting stabbed in the nut.
Here we go.
Just try it.
We're here to ruin all of our reputations. dude.
Just try it.
Yabos, okay?
You guys.
So yeah, this like I honestly I agree with you, Justin, that as far as like the progression of how this woman sort of like survives as long as she does, it's like to me it really does strike a combination of getting the jump on people who don't expect a class A serial killer to be in there, and also just like a bit of luck on her part. Like that towards the end, our protagonist Sarah has her pretty much dead to rights. She's standing there with some sort of weapon. I can't remember what it was. It was like Oh, it was like a knife on the end of a pole or something.
Oh, that's right. God, that bitch like went buck wild.
What the hell was that pole, by the way? What was
I don't know.
I don't know where it came from.
It looked like part of a vacuum cleaner. So I don't know. But
steel vacuum cleaner.
I mean, I don't know. But she has this woman, the attacker, dead to rights, and the attacker says, is talking to her, doing a quick monologue or something, and reveals her big secret. But then, as a stroke of luck, one of the cops was still alive, and he comes to and turns all the lights on.
So bizarre.
And it's the one.
That was weird.
It was so weird.
That was pretty unlikely.
That almost
also I didn't quite
what the
get it because did she cut that dude's eyes out? And so, why would he turn the lights on?
No. They set this up early on in the movie that there are riots going on in France, and there's a riot police out. The weapon that he got shot with was a riot gun, which is meant to have as big of a flash as possible to blind riot. And it was right against his fucking head.
I
was wondering what that weapon was. It looked strange.
I didn't get that.
I had to look it up because I wasn't sure. I was like, okay, they mentioned the riots. Maybe this is some sort of riot gun. And I was right. It's like I think they called it like a flash bang or something. Not a flash bang.
Okay.
But it was so close to him that
whiz
it's
banger.
Yeah, it's an explosion right by your face.
Yeah, it looked like his eyes were gouged out.
He was blind. That's why he attacked our protagonist and beat her with a fucking billy club because all he knows is he's blind and somebody's saying "Monsieur" right in his face right after he and somehow he turned the lights on. That's a question mark. I don't know how he did that. But, especially
because he couldn't do it when he had fucking eyes.
Yeah, he had no eyesight. So I don't know.
That's true.
But he did beat the shit out of Sarah and completely fuck her in her moment of triumph.
Yeah.
So our antagonists caught that in particular, but several big breaks and didn't really she just kept getting lucky or otherwise just getting the jump on people. Yeah. So to me, it played mostly not reasonable, but in an understandable fashion.
The only one that was questionable was when 3 cops come in, but at first it's just 2 cops. And then so she gets the jump on one of them. And because one goes upstairs to help Sarah, and one is supposed to be arresting this girl, but she's got a secret knife, so she stabs that dude. Okay. And then she goes upstairs and shoots the other one because she steals the gun from the cop. Okay. But then when the third cop comes in, he's got a dude tied to his back or whatever, but that dude has a weapon too. Those two totally should when she gets the jump on those 2 guys, that was the only unreasonable thing. But they do it off screen, so we don't really exactly see how she deals with them because they're looking at the fuse box trying to get the lights back on, and she somehow gets the jump on him, and then it cuts off screen to Sarah, so we don't really know what happens. But they those dudes totally should have caught her, but other than that,
I mean, we do know how she dispatched them.
Yeah, it shows it. The guy that's tied to him that was a rioter, he gets stabbed in the forehead with scissors.
Oh, it was so bad.
Well, yeah, but before that, when they're specifically looking at the fuse box, she comes out of the shadows or something, and then it cuts to Sarah, and you hear 2 bang bang, and then it goes back, so you don't really know how.
And I agree, but the how, it's just that's the most unlikely scenario because she not only turned out the fuse box and then successfully hid as they a cop going around with his gun looking for somebody and somebody watching his back, even if he's just a civilian. And then they're both looking at the fucking fuse box, and the guy, the criminal, sat down the riot gun for a second, right by the fuse box, and somehow she managed to pull that away when he wasn't looking. He's like, oh shit, the gun's missing. And then they turn around and they're looking around and they can't see her because it's dark. I don't know. Her being able to get that gun is probably the most questionable part.
Yeah.
To me, because it's right next to them and they're on high alert and one is a cop. I don't know how. And they have a flashlight. It's not like they're in complete darkness either.
Yeah.
So that was maybe the most questionable thing to me. But otherwise, for the most part, it seemed pretty logical train of events.
Except the only thing was too. they're like, oh, let's go turn on the lights. I was like, bitch, the front door's at the end of the stairs. All you have to do is carry the girl outstairs and like, go to your cop car.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was my other problem.
Lights.
Like at first you're like, oh my God, this third cop, he's the best. He's doing everything right. He's coming in with his gun out. He's, got this. He's giving this guy who's tethered to him like a backup role.
Yeah.
And he's helping this woman with her hands. Like he's doing everything right. And then he's like, all right, stay here. We're going to go turn the lights on.
No, don't leave her. What are you doing?
No.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm going to leave you alone at the top of the stairs when you're like bleeding out and there's a killer in the house to go turn the lights on so that I can go back upstairs to carry your ass out. Like, no, like
she's clearly an insane amount of shock at that point too. So she's not even thinking. All you have to do is say like, all right, perp one,
follow me,
grab her and keep an eye behind us as we're walking. Keep her between us. And we're going to walk right out the front door, get in the cop car and call for backup at least.
Minimum ambulance backup.
I got slightly annoyed with the breaker box as far as her turning off the lights. I think it's because I'm conditioned with American horror movies that they give you a backstory of like, this person has been watching this person and knows all about their house and knows where this is and this is and this is. But it does seem like her breaker box was just like out in the middle of the fucking living room.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't hidden in any way. So once I saw that, I was like, I'm not mad at you anymore.
It's hard to miss it.
Yeah, that's true.
I
also, Bob.
Yeah, I was gonna get into Sarah kicking some major ass at the end.
That was awesome.
She burns this lady's face like old school with like a lighter.
That was amazing.
And a like Lysol can or some sort of spray.
So like the chick
the
through
lady,
the movie's been she's been lighting a cigarette.
She's lighting a cigarette.
I've just been murdering a million people, but I'm like classily smoking the cigarette because I'm French,
Somehow she hasn't really gotten injured. I think she might have suffered like one or two like bumps or bruises, but she never got really hurt. And this woman's laying there, their face slash with like in labor.
The worst she had was she got hit over the side of the head with a lamp, like at the very beginning. Sarah,
and then like
when she was on top of her.
And Sarah, like the way that she gets the upper hand is first she gets hit in the face with a fucking toaster. Oof. Like just whipped in the face with a goddamn toaster of all things.
And it's like legit metal. It's not laying Hamilton Beach. It's like I'm made of metal, like the brave little toaster metal.
It's an iron toaster.
Yeah,
and
it's fucked up.
She goes down like a ton of bricks, as you would if you're in labor, slashed up, and hit with a fucking toaster. And somehow this woman has this presence of mind when she sees that cigarette going to pick up this can of Lysol or whatever and blowtorch this bitch, and that almost ends the fucking movie. As soon as the lady like backs off because her face is on fire, the Sarah finds that pole thing from whatever it is. I don't know. Maybe it's some sort of fixture. Attaches a knife to the end of it, which is an awesome idea because she's
so badass.
You don't want to get too close, and I was like, this is great. And she goes in and she's like so close to making it happen. But then the lady starts monologuing her big secret as she's lying prone in the corner with her face burnt. And then cop number 3 wakes up with his blind ass and starts turning on lights and beating the shit out of Sarah because he's afraid of the other woman.
I had a moment of internal panic of like, oh fuck, is he like a zombie now? What are we doing? And then it ended up kind of making sense. But you didn't even mention though, fuck, she creates this amazing weapon after doing what to herself? Giving herself a tracheotomy. Are you kidding me?
The trach.
I forgot about that.
The self-trach.
Yeah, she's drowning in her own fucking blood and gives herself a trach. That is stone
pretty
badass.
Rob, how did you watch this in so many holes?
And then duct tapes it up.
She's like, at all. Yeah,
let me go ahead and duct tape this.
Lady, she has slashed up her hands. She has had her face slashed. She's had her belly cut, not all the way, but she's had it cut. She's probably she's been beaten around a little bit. She's been whipped in the face with a fucking toaster, and she still has the ability to trach herself. God damn, woman, that is
a mother's love, Andy. That's a mother's love.
I don't know
We
anything
know all
about
about it. We know all about
Pregnancy is hard, okay?
Okay.
How much
Fucking
of this was in the birth plan? She's like, well, I was gonna get
Every woman goes through it. You give the old self-trach, I
Juice.
mean, it's just a part of life. It's
If I never got pregnant, then I would engineer a situation where I was attacked like this just to prove to myself that I was right to be a mother.
My face is so hot right now. I can't tell if it's anger at Juice's trolling or my wine.
Combination.
It's usually
if you can't keep your baby alive from an attacker, who's breaking into your house the night before you go into labor, then you
On
don't
Christmas
deserve that
Eve.
baby, okay?
Like, what?
It's just science. Survival of the fittest.
You guys have lost so many
Natural
listeners.
selection. Probably.
All of your two female
Sorry to
listeners.
everyone.
Probably right.
Sorry to the French. Sorry to people who have vaginas. We're sorry.
Those
just
people who
jealous.
have vaginas, what are they called? Women.
Oh,
Women.
right.
Whoa.
We pretty much touched on everything. The movie kind of ends, we already mentioned it. The crazy lady performs basically a C-section on Sarah and snatches that baby right out.
She was cutting her stomach like fucking art teacher doing construction paper.
Yes.
It was hardcore.
Yeah.
Cheers. How'd you react to that? You have problems dealing with vaginas and blood.
Yeah, surprisingly, not as bad. You know what? But honestly, the baby inside bothered me. I think the most of anything, it being in
Or quality wise. Do you mean
Well,
visceral?
I mean, kind of both, honestly. Seeing it in there and I don't know. I just didn't like it. I just didn't like seeing it inside. I don't know. But I mean, surprisingly, I was okay. It was gross. It's gross for sure. But they kind of cut away and then they cut back and her belly's already open, and I could kind of deal with that a little bit better, I guess. I don't know. The bell, when she had the scissors in the belly button, that was definitely freaking me out. I was like, pregnancy is hard. Ugh.
There you go.
I had to use scissors at work today multiple times, and the whole time I was just having PTSD, flashbacks. It was awful.
Anybody
This
need me to
coupon
snatch
looks
a
like
baby?
a pregnant belly.
Is there anything else you guys want to touch on before we rate this thing?
Juice, you got any more women-hating comments over there? You
Yeah,
can
just
tell us
wait.
a little bit more
Women
about
hate
pregnancy?
Just wait.
I'm sympathizing over here.
Simpa hating. Let's
Hating.
let's go ahead and rate this thing out of 5. Tammy, would you be so kind as to kick us off? How you feeling about Inside?
I guess I'm a little thrown under the bus here. Beep bop bop.
You can.
I just didn't expect to go first.
You don't have to go
fine.
first.
It's fine.
Okay.
I'll go first. I'm a strong woman, right? I'm carrying it for the race of women.
Carry your opinion to term, Tammy.
I'm being so I'm literally being a basic white bitch right now, drunk on rosé. All right, here we go. Enjoyed it. Even going into it with no warning, I guess I'm in the end kind of glad that I had no warning, because going into it without seeing a trailer or hearing other people's opinions about it really helped me to form my own, as a woman with opinions. No, it was great. I enjoyed it a lot. I think I would give it 4 out of 5. And I thought it was artistically beautiful. I just like French movies in general. And French horror is a number one for me. Cat content. Hello. That's an entire point. If the cat was in it a little bit more, / if the cat didn't die, it might have been a 5, but that definitely knocked it down. Spoiler, the cat died. That was really sad. But yeah, I'll go 4 out of 5.
I forgot about the cat.
Cool. Juice, why don't you go next? How you feeling out of 5?
I liked this movie. It's brutal as fuck, but it's done well, especially after, watching Green Inferno 2 and seeing somebody like try to be brutal, being like, okay, I've seen how it's done well, and this was done well. I'm still digging on these like French extreme movies. I don't know. I just think that the way that they handle themselves compared to like maybe American counterparts, it's just kind of refreshing, or it's just kind of a different look on how these things can be done, and I really appreciate them. That being said, though, like at the same time, this movie didn't bring a whole lot of like new or interesting ideas to the table. It's just what they did well. But there was nothing in here that like blew my mind as far as any kind of plot points go, or storylines, or development, or characters, or anything like that. It's just the way they handled their brutality was like kind of surprisingly done well. That last shot is fucking so creepy, but also like so beautiful. Like the way, the dichotomy that they're able to like mesh these things, like this woman with her burned face with this baby that's like been ripped out and is all bloody and shit, but like it's like such a like good looking shot. It's unbelievable. So I really appreciate what they're able to do with that kind of stuff. I don't know if I'd want to watch this movie again, because it is so brutal, and because it, like I said, there's no ideas where I'm like, I need to like mull that over. There's nothing for me to really like chew on as far as like philosophically or anything like that goes. So I think I'm going to end this one at a 3.5.
Cool. 3.5. Randy, how you feeling out of 5?
To some extent, I pretty much agree with Justin and Tammy. I think that I'm a pretty good mark for home invasion movies. I just think that's a relatable fear of, having your space invaded in general.
Yes.
I think this movie has a sort of a nice uniqueness to it in that, first of all, you've got a pregnant woman protagonist, and it's centered around that. So can't think of any other movie that's quite like that in terms of home invasion horror. And also unique in home invasion horror is you see the person's face pretty much right away. You know, at least visually, who your attacker is. I thought that was a little refreshing. So, and then the attacks are brutal. The progression of events is, for the most part, understandable and not too off the wall. Its performances are pretty subdued considering what they're going through, I think. And you definitely root for the people you're supposed to root for. You definitely are intrigued by the motivations behind this. There's a lot going for it, is what I'm saying. Now, to Juice's point, I agree that, like, at least, and maybe I'm missing something very obvious, but, in thinking about what this movie is about, like what the subtext is, I'm not sure what that is. And maybe it's just supposed to be a journey, and this is a movie that I think the journey is strong enough for me to say, yeah, it's still a good movie, even without a whole lot of like, subtext or a philosophical bent or any sort of like quote unquote point behind it. I think the journey is enough of a point, and the feelings of vulnerability that you get from this woman's perspective, as somebody who's having their space invaded, and somebody who's pregnant, and somebody who's having their baby, ripped away from them, and all her family killed. I think that it stands alone without that, but I prefer to have, some of that in there. And if there is something in there that somebody noticed, I don't know, if not among us, then among the broader listenership, that I'm missing, I just kind of like I think of Martyrs, and that movie gives you a lot to chew on, and it's also brutal, and it's also like got a lot of unexpected, unique things. It's got a lot of the similar pluses that this movie has from the same school of French extremity. But it also has a sort of philosophical idea, which is why I would score that movie better in general, because it just has that extra depth. So I think that's probably my biggest complaint. The CG was rough, but it was kind of its time, so I don't know how much I can hold that against it. I think I'm going to land on a 3.5 also, 3.5.
Cool beans. So this movie, I think I'm going to come in with a 3 on it. So there's, as far as like whether or not there's some sort of social commentary or like some sort of like greater message that this movie is trying to get across, I don't really know that I picked up on anything, but I was curious about the several times they mentioned like the rioting and like I'm wondering, I'm not like a French history expert or something, so I don't know if like in 2007 around this time, if there was a lot of like violence happening in France, or if there was some specific reason people may have been rioting, and maybe this more insulated home invasion story is commenting on some sort of larger thing that was happening in France at the time. It seems as though that could be possible, but maybe because we are Americans, that was kind of lost on us. But I don't know. I guess I tried to do a little bit of research on it, and I basically just found people saying that they feel similarly. Like, you know, if this was trying to make a point, it doesn't make it clearly enough for you to really understand what the hell it is.
Yeah.
I also, like, you know, I just kind of have a problem with this normal ass, you know, lady taking out 3 cops. I just don't really see it happening, or at least not with like such ease. And I don't know. But it does have like some pretty incredible gore, and it's as far as like a thriller, like putting this on, like you pretty much get to the edge of your seat and you just stay there.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's something to be said for that. It's incredibly suspenseful, and it definitely doesn't pull any punches, man. It's a heavy ending. I think personally, I would say this is more gory and more difficult to watch than even Martyrs was, but I guess that's kind of open for debate. But I'm gonna, ooh, excuse me, try not to burp in the microphone. But yeah, I'm gonna give this a 3. That's gonna put our aggregate at a 3.5. Let's go ahead and see what the chillins have to say on Rotten Tomatoes.
Certified fresh to death.
Take it away, Juice.
All right, Churins. Wow, low count on this one. There's no critic consensus. Total reviews counted from the critics is a measly 13. So only 13 critics have rated this film.
Damn.
Wow. It's, and I guess the French name is à la intérieur, like interior. I don't know.
Are you fluent?
Dude, I'm so fluent. Fromage
You're
de
definitely
parlay.
not fluent, bro, but you know.
Holy shit.
I mean, even from my high school French, it's not a la. It's like and then the L is with the other words.
L'intérieur.
And you never say the R, bro. Just know.
So,
I give up.
À la intérieur.
Oh, that was so much better. That was so much better. Yeah.
can I break in with some breaking news real quick?
Yes.
Okay.
Break me, Randy.
Becky, who watched this film with me, just sent me a screenshot from a BuzzFeed article. And I'm going to read you the title of this BuzzFeed article real quick. A pregnant woman was allegedly murdered and her baby was cut out of her body.
Holy shit.
She just saw this 3 hours ago. And then the descriptor says, Marlon Ochoa Lopez was reportedly lured to a house to pick up free baby clothes and a stroller that had been offered
No. Randy.
in a pregnant mother's Facebook group. What the fuck?
It
Randy,
just happens.
why you gotta do that to me?
Becky just texted this to me. I'm dealing with it. I need help.
It doesn't happen like all the time, but it really does happen often. I've seen it on Forensic Files and Cold Case Files, and hearing it on My Favorite Murder, like, bitches want babies. This happens in real life. Like, maybe
Damn.
not to the stealth effect of, oh no, it was a fucking, I survived. I saw it on 2. This woman fucking survived being cut open, like trying to have her baby ripped from her. And she fought back in like, oh my God, it was incredible. But shit happens in real life. Y'all
I
ain't
told
know
you at
though,
the
because you
beginning of
mans.
this
Y'all don't know
cast.
because you mans. So when the story is about a
People
woman,
are
you're like,
evil.
moving on. Oh, gotta go see that new Avengers. Fuck women.
That's exactly what my
Vinegar
inner
syndrome.
monologue
No
sounds like.
spoilers. She might have made it all the way, but then somebody spoiled the Avengers, and that was it.
I had to snatch that baby.
Thank you, Becky, though, for your service.
Damn. Ugh. I hate you guys.
Sorry. that happens apparently, and it's fucking awful. Let's continue.
So Rotten Tomatoes, 13 critics have rated this film. Let's go around the table and see if you guys can guess what fun we're having. Okay, so let's go ladies first because pregnancy is hard. Tammy, why don't you kick us off? What do you think the 13 critics rated this film?
69, obviously. Done.
Obviously.
Move along.
Move along. Nothing to see here. All right. Rob.
I'm gonna go.
You bastard.
75.
75. And Randy, wrap us up.
Give me that 85.
85. Oh my Lord. Randy, on the nose, you son of a bitch.
Oh, it's my
Randy's time is coming. It's like the 10th episode or something. Every episode, Randy gets one. And
I got a 1 in 300 record on guessing Rotten Tomatoes.
You're doing
Great
good.
job, Randy. On the nose, 85%. This movie
is I know all 13 of those reviewers personally.
This is fresh, not certified fresh, but it is fresh. Of the 13 reviews, 11 are fresh, 2 are rotten. There is no critic consensus. Pretty much, let me see. A top critic says a simple premise is tangled into a mesmerizing 82 minutes of claustrophobia, mystery, and some of the goriest, terrifying proportions or something.
That's about right.
Yeah.
It's about right, not grammatically, but it's about right.
Yeah. Maybe he's French. Maybe English is not his first.
Perhaps.
And actually, maybe a bunch of these people are French. But so there's only 2 negatives on this one. So people are dealing with this. I'm trying to see where these people are from. Some of these things do look French as far as their names is like where they're writing for. So yeah, not, I guess, a super popular film or well known, but it is positive. So let's see what the oozes think. Oozer rating 7,109. So yeah, not a lot of people rushing to review or maybe even watch Inside. Let's reverse, and I'll let Randy go first. Randy, what do you think the 7,000 people rated this movie?
I'm gonna go with a 69.
Going
Fuck
with the special.
you, Randy.
Everybody's always
Going with the comedy number.
Men stomping
Yeah, all right.
all over women. It's just the fucking theme of the episode.
Down with the patriarchy.
All right, Rob, you're gonna be next.
75.
75, and Tams.
I will make you guys feel old and go with the year of my birth, which is 92.
Ooh, yeah, that worked.
92. Oh, my life.
Even drink.
Well, yes, I can.
Damn, in rare form, Rob hit it on the nose.
Come on.
Whoa.
Both numbers were hit on the nose. This one is 75%. Woo! So
Well done, Rob.
Grazie.
Overall positive, but with super small sample size. So it seems like this is like, I don't know, like a niche kind of thing. I don't know. But people are flocking to praise it, so that's good. Wait, the show, what was our overall 3.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
70%. So we're much better in line than with the Frighteners. That's for damn sure.
Yes. We are ladies and gentlemen of the people.
That's
Yes.
That's right.
right. That's right.
Cool.
That's hot.
That's so hot.
Here we go.
I think it's time to go hunting.
Cooter of the week.
All right.
Let's go hunting.
We got to find us here at Cooter. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious, right?
You think it's obvious, Bob? Let's see.
It's the baby, Rob.
Let's bust out the handbook, Rob. What's so obvious about it to you?
Okay.
Give us the handbook, Juice.
So the crazy lady that breaks into the house trying to myrtleize everybody. I'm going with her for
you
for
think
cooter.
so, huh, Bob?
Yeah. So she's okay. So we'll run down the 4 points of cooterdom. The attire. She's wearing like this Matrix looking outfit.
She got a corset.
I got more of like a witchy
Corset?
vibe from her.
Okay.
Like she
Yeah.
may have just come from her coven meeting.
Okay. So I don't know.
But she rips off her corset. Remember, she's wearing a corset and she's like, I have to do business now. And rips it off.
I can't breathe in this fucking thing. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that's not very cooterific, I guess. I stand corrected.
I know, Bob. Okay. Let's move on then. Okay. It's so
Move on.
obvious, Bob. You think this is easy?
Wow. It's
Almost
just like,
as
this is
easy
like
as
if-
pregnancy.
Why are we all
This is
so
like
mad
if,
at each other?
I don't know. It's like if Sherlock Holmes was just like a real passive aggressive prick to Watson instead of outwardly resentful.
Why don't you solve this crime, asshole?
All right.
Oh,
What's
you think
next,
it's so
Bob?
easy, Watson.
So we got sexual deviancy next on there, which I don't know if there's that like one weird part where she's trying to like make out with Sarah. I don't really
that
know
was
if that
so weird.
counts
Did she
exactly.
bite her tongue or just her lip?
I think she bit her lip.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That was,
Forgot about that.
that was kind of weird.
That was
because-
sexual deviancy. That's fucking weird.
Yeah, that's the only like
Also,
sexual
from
thing,
from everything we know, she was probably pregnant out of wedlock. So I mean,
Oh god.
Get that shotgun ready.
Manipulation. I mean, I don't know. She's lying to people and then murdering people. So
Yeah.
that
She
she's
did
got that.
lie
in
to
spades.
someone.
She manipulated the news editor boss guy.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, I'm totally a mom," and then at the very
And the
beginning,
cops, she was like, "Oh no,
and
girl,
stabbed him
I'm
in the
fine."
dick. That's some sexual deviancy. Let's put that one on there.
Dick
Who stabs a
stab.
dude in the dick?
Yeah.
The dude was totally chill. Like if you're gonna kill him,
I'm totally
that's
chill. What are you doing to my dick?
I mean, if you're gonna kill him, then kill him. Stab him in the throat, stab whatever. Don't just stab him in the dick. What? That's fucked up.
I am.
You could be.
totally chill.
You could do another baby with one of those. Why are you doing that?
You could do one. I mean, come on, dude. Stabbing him right in the dick. That's some fucked up
Yeah.
shit, man. That's low. That's the lowest of the low.
The fourth pillar of cooterdom is inflated sense of self-importance. I think she's got that too, obviously, because she's trying to rip a baby out of
Sure.
a person to raise it as her own. Like, you don't do that because you think you're not important.
Kind of twisted view. I'm not sure if it would be like arrogance though. Like she's just twisted up. Like it's vengeance she's after.
I mean, you gotta be
I'll
real
help-
fucked up to be like,
I'll
I
help
lost my
Bob out
baby.
here
It's give
a
me
little
yours.
bit.
It's a little bit murky. Right? What did you
Here,
say,
let
Tim?
me help. Oh, sorry, Tam. What was it?
No, I was just saying you got to be pretty much fucked up to be like, oh, I lost my baby. I'm gonna take yours now.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty arrogant.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
That's
not only
true.
that, I think some of the smug arrogance comes from her being like, oh, you don't even want this baby, Sarah, or like you don't deserve it, Sarah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Trying to like take it, like not even being able to like sympathize her, just being like, I'm gonna be the better mom, or like you don't deserve it, I'm better, or whatever. So I think some of that comes from that. I had to bail Bob out. there a
Bam. So
little
that's
bit,
like
you know?
a solid 2.5 out of 4 right there. Cooter.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. Good job, Bob. I only push you because I care.
Hey, thanks, Dad.
I want you to become the best hunter you can be, and that's true of all of you. All
You're
of
never
the
gonna get
listeners out there.
You're never gonna get a cooter hunting scholarship with that attitude.
All you little cooters out
You
there.
gotta test yourself.
I gotta, kind of instill a little self-doubt there, so you really push yourself to the limits. Really
God.
work to achieve.
Wow, you've had so many kids. You've raised a lot of kids.
Pregnancy's hard, I'm telling you.
It's true.
God.
Okay. Randy, you said there wasn't really much trivia, right? So we're just going to cruise on by that.
Yeah, it was pretty minimal on trivia, so we'll skip it.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk some horror news.
Extra, read all about it.
We talking about some news today.
Today.
Every day. So
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay.
Netflix.
Here we go.
We're talking about some Netflix.
This is what we call stalling.
Rob's got a chubby for the news.
Netflix is bringing Mark Millar's The Magic Order to series with James Wan producing, and he's finally going to direct something. So that's neat, I guess.
Can I just say no? I don't. I need a James Wan break.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah. I'm kind of starting to feel that way too. For show.
Wait, I'm sorry. I think I missed the news. Are you talking about Mortal Kombat?
No, no, I'm not. So there's
Can we please talk about Mortal Kombat?
Give me a hot minute. So there's a comic book called The Magic Order, and it was written by Mark Millar and illustrated by Olivier Coipel. I think
French.
for show. And so they're turning that into a Netflix series that's going to be produced and directed by James Wan.
And directed. Okay.
Yeah, and he's actually going to direct it. It doesn't say how many episodes it's going to be, but it's going to be a TV series, and the plot is as follows. 5 families of magicians sworn to protect our world must battle an enemy who's picking them off one by one. By day, they live among us as our neighbors, friends, and coworkers, but by night, they are the sorcerers, magicians, and wizards that protect us from the forces of darkness, unless the darkness gets them first.
Is this...
We demand to be taken seriously.
Me and Randy just had the same reaction. We were like intrigued and then like vastly disappointed.
The
like,
word
like,
magician instantly made me dubious.
Don't we already have the Umbrella Academy and the Magicians? Like, we don't...
That's true.
We're good. We don't need any more.
That's true.
We got it. We got fucking Harry Potter, too. You want something solid? Go watch Harry Potter again. You don't need new fucking wand magicians. We're good. Thanks.
Give me some butterbeer, damn it.
Yeah,
Next.
Here's the thing. I'm with everybody about fuck James Wan producing anything, because literally that dude has proven he'll just slap his name on anything to get paid.
I put that shit on everything.
I still think he's like a good director. Like, I mean, even he did Aquaman. Aquaman wasn't like an amazing movie, but that's like a big studio like interfering kind of thing where you can only do so much. And what he did with like the cinematography and shit was like really impressive in like some things. So I still think like the dude's like a solid director, but that premise does not intrigue me.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not super excited about the idea of that. It could be pretty cool, and I'll probably watch at least some of it because Juan is
Rob's
a good
like,
director.
I'll watch all of it. It's fine.
But yeah, I don't know.
Well, are you sure, Rob? It's not. It doesn't come in a vinegar stroke.
Damn, boo, you got me.
Damn.
Yeah, James Wan, like Justin mentioned, is also producing a new Mortal Kombat movie because why the fuck not? Why?
Dude, if he was directing it, then I'd be like, all right, let's do it.
La Llorona versus
That's a movie I would watch. I would watch that
Funny as
one.
fuck.
When's the last time we had a Mortal Kombat movie, though? Was it the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
Early 2000s?
The last time we had a Mortal
98.
Kombat movie of consequence was like 1997. Something.
Annihilation.
Yeah. Too bad you will die.
That movie is so goddamn bad.
The original one is charmingly bad.
Yeah.
Nothing.
They also had that Mortal Kombat like web series that came out, I don't know, 6 years ago.
Yeah.
They had a show on TNT. I think they did like another show at some point, like, and they did like a bullshit like download only type movie, I think, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's not the best movie property. But
I don't think I ever watched it, but I seem to remember people kind of liking the web, like the YouTube series or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that was fan made though. So I mean,
was it?
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I think so. I thought it was kind of cool too, but it was fan made. I think that like I'm intrigued by that concept because just having any sort of director that's well versed in horror take on a what has traditionally been seen as an action franchise, even though it has gruesome elements in it. I think that's an interesting idea. I'm kind of down for that, and it may end up being bad, but if it is, it'll just be in keeping with the rest of the Mortal Kombat oeuvre. So,
do you remember? God, it's been a long time now, probably 8 years. But they made that little teaser or somebody made that teaser trailer, and it was a realistic style Mortal Kombat where Jax was a cop and Sonya was a cop, and Reptile had this real actual skin disease, but he was also a cannibal. And then Baraka was a guy who was he was a plastic surgeon, but kind of went crazy, so he self-installed blades. So it was supposed to be realistic and gritty. It's I don't know, it's probably 7 minutes long on YouTube, 8 minutes long, and that looks really fucking cool. So if something like that was done, the way that they did it, had that kind of horror element, Reptile was this really actually fucked up person with a skin disease, and I don't know. So sure, I'm open to the idea, but James Wan just slapping his name on it doesn't do anything for me. But
I just looked that up, and I was wrong. That's what I was thinking of when I said that was fan made, because that trailer was fan made, but there was a web series that I actually had never heard of that was official. Legacy, it's called. It's Mortal Kombat Legacy.
Legacy. So y'all, I think we talked about this on Slack for a hot minute, but the next news story I wanted to mention, it was very surprising to me, but so they're going to revamp Saw, and it's all going to be based on this idea that Chris Rock came up with.
What?
Yeah, Chris Rock, the comedian, the Chris Rock that you're thinking of, that's the Chris Rock. So apparently he's...
At first I thought you were going to say it's all going to be based on Chris Rock, and I was like, what?
I'm interested.
I want to play gay!
But it's this idea that Chris Rock came up with, and it's going to be directed by Darren Lynn Bousman, who directed the first 3 Saw sequels. So he's kind of familiar with the franchise. And it's already got a release date. It's going to be released October 23rd, 2020. So they're obviously going to try and take Halloween back and start making Saws every damn year again.
No.
So assuming this one actually goes over well and makes money. But Chris Rock goes on to say that he's been a fan of Saw since the first film in 2004, and he's excited by the opportunity to take this to a really intense and twisted new place.
Motherfucker thinks he's Danny McBride over here. Come on.
Yeah. Jordan Peele, head ass.
I guess I'm not going to say anything bad about it until...
Thanks, Danny.
Yeah.
I can't... I'm not going to say anything bad about it until I see a trailer. I got to have some visual shit to get mad at.
True.
Or happy at.
Yeah. I'm kind of over Saw in general, but hell, it could, it could be cool. Who knows?
Could be cool.
He could have a really cool idea.
It's kind of hard to make it worse at this point, I guess.
Yeah. Dude, Jigsaw was such a trash fire.
Hashtag can't be worse.
Yeah. I mean, when's the last time we got a good Saw movie? Saw
2.
2004.
Honestly, Chris Rock,
oh, Bob.
Maybe he'll at least stick to the rules of being a Saw guy, a Jigsaw. Because those movies just stopped following their own fucking rules at movie 3. Mm-hmm. It was dumb.
Yeah, I legit think they killed that dude in movie 3, and it just kind of kept going.
Just kind of kept going.
Some of them were cool. We go with a Saw series or something, because I 6 or something was kind of cool. There's some good stuff in there, kind of. It's just hidden away.
Maybe.
I think I like 4 or something. I don't know, but it's been so long.
You could probably cut the last 5 movies together and make one pretty cool movie out of it.
Yeah, probably.
I remember a guy got crushed by a trash compactor or something, and then one guy had to choose between killing an old lady or killing someone else. I don't know.
That was
Granny or
that
a
was
stranger.
6, I think. That was the dude where the insurance company is you have to make a choice or whatever between. Yeah.
I feel like once they ever made the old
between
dude
like what was like the
real.
old lady who had a family, but she was old, and like the young lady who didn't have a family.
You spend your entire life feeding off the pain of others.
Can you hear
And
the
pain?
coming out of my
Randy,
mouth?
whoa! You're not.
That's
you're
fucked
not-
up.
you're not good-
Now
You're not
we're
good
offending
enough
the
at
African American
impression.
community. It's fine.
To let
Like,
that-
put it on the
Hey,
list.
whoa. Chris Rock. Chris Rock is an individual, okay? He is not defined by his... How
Much
dare you.
the way
I'm
you
just
don't
a woman.
represent
What do I know?
all
It's
women.
fine.
You just represent yourself, Tammy. That's it.
Only Jews can represent all women.
Jesus. So we got a new trailer for Midsummer. It kind of showed a little bit more of like the love story, I guess. So there's like a couple that's on the rocks, and they go on this trip, and it's going to be really nice.
It's gonna
And
bring
then
them back together,
They
okay?
totally don't get murdered by
They're
a
gonna
cult.
make it.
Oh my god! I will say, everyone, be careful out there.
Huh?
Because apparently I said everyone be careful out there
Okay.
because apparently a while back the script of this movie leaked, and so people have read it and are talking about like, oh, like how fucked up it's going to be, and like comparing it like to Hereditary and stuff. So be aware that even though like this movie's not out and you're just like scrolling through comments or scrolling through things, like somebody could like fuck it up for you.
Totally
so
spoil it.
don't-
I'm
Thank you for
already
that.
regretful that... Yeah. I'm already regretful that I saw the trailer because I feel like it revealed a lot. I don't know. The teaser trailer was enough for me, and I should have just... Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I didn't. I mean, I guess it kind of gave more of the story. Like in the first one, we didn't know like the relationship kind of thing, and yeah, like I didn't need that in the trailer, but I didn't think anything spoiled anything for me yet.
I don't know if it necessarily spoiled it, but I think I would have liked to have seen the journey
Yeah,
of setting that set it all up. I don't know.
But I am excited. I'm holding off, of course, but if he pulls this off, I'm really impressed, dude. Hereditary came out last year.
Yeah.
Last year. So if this dude pulls this off, and this movie that looks like it has a very similar vibe while also having a very different look, would be like so impressive to me.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much
And
of the
I-
mindset like, give me Sweden, give me cults, and give me flower crowns, and I'm down.
Check. You got him.
It
I'm there.
looks looks fantastic. Just like the visuals, I love them. They look so cool for a horror movie. It legit looks like somebody was like, we need to make Wicker Man good. Like, it's like, like, oh man, I'm just mesmerized by it. Anytime like I want to watch the trailer just because the visuals just like, I don't know, I'm so mesmerized by this idea of this bright horror movie that's got the vibe of Hereditary, because Hereditary was so fucked up. The more time that goes by, the more I just like absolutely love Hereditary. And I'm excited. I'm excited for this movie to come out. And it's like what? It's like 6 weeks or something. It's not too far off.
July 3rd's release date. July.
Ooh, I'll be in the States. We can
Wow,
go see it
that's so
together.
soon.
Shit.
Oh, shit,
Then we'll
juice.
probably end up doing a show on it while you're in town. Cool.
Good.
Nice.
Good.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, I'm stoked about
A
it too.
shoulder shrug there, Bob.
Hey, thanks, man. I forget you're behind me. We also watched this little. It's kind of like a behind-the-scenes featurette sort of deal about the new Child's Play movies coming out. They talk about they like obviously made it to let you know that Chucky is not entirely CG and that it's actually animatronic, so that you don't go shit your bed.
Yeah.
So they show the making of the doll and all this stuff, and you know, whatever, cool. It's a real doll. It's not CG. It still looks kind of like dog shit to me, though. I don't know. Is that just
It
me?
looks bad.
Okay.
I don't like it. Ugh.
Yes, I feel similarly.
Which I feel bad because they're like, these things are really hard to make. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm sure they are, but it looks really bad.
I'm sure it's just like my women's sensibilities, but it made me appreciate it a little bit more, like hearing the creators talk about the work that went into it.
Sure.
It makes you appreciate it a little bit more.
Is that
You're not wrong.
Sharing
It's
the
still
women's
scary as
view,
fuck, and I don't agree
can
with.
Why is
understand.
that a women's intuition?
Listen, I don't agree. I'm just going
Why
with the
is that a
fucking theme
woman
here,
thing?
Andy. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was my
I
dry
should've just
humor. Did you not understand?
I know. I thought
As
you
a
were
man.
dead serious.
Too dry. It's too dry.
Are you too thick as a man? Do you not understand the words that I'm saying?
Do you not? No, you should have done Chris Rock. No, but I will say last thing. I didn't realize that they basically digitized Chucky. Not sure how I feel about that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Let me tell you how to feel about
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's dumb.
Tell me right now. My head is like literally just like an empty space. Please fill it with
Yeah,
your
let me fill it.
manly
Let
thoughts.
me fill it up.
Feel it.
Okay. It's dumb. Chucky in a cloud. I'm not digging it.
So
Chucky in the
I've already
cloud
got
because he lives forever.
Kind of well trod the criticisms with turning Chucky into a robot. It's not something I'm super into. It's a story that could be told differently or without this IP, basically. But here's some notes about this particular featurette that kind of was weird for me. First of all, yeah, they're looking weird. The robots are looking weird. I think that they could be scary. Yeah. I think they could be scary. They've got a little uncanny valley to them or whatever. But I mean, it's not quite striking me just yet. Second of all, I think Aubrey Plaza is being held hostage by the studio making this movie.
It
You were
felt that
saying
way.
it was so like ER written sounding that I couldn't believe. Like, it's like, oh, it's killer robots. What's creepier than that, or something? And that's how they
Does
close
not
things.
care.
Like, that's man, you do not want to be in this room at all. And then finally,
it's really gonna be shit. Okay.
Anybody else notice there was a shot in like a behind the scenes shot where they're showing off, oh, these are real dolls and all this stuff, where they have doll like stabbing with a knife or whatever that looks like they put a Michael Myers face on it, and it made me wonder. Did you notice that? I don't know if it was just because it was painted, or if it was.
It was almost like it was like the empty shell of his face, and it didn't have like the animatronic body inside of it because it was like missing its eyes. I noticed
moving though.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I don't know if it's just unpainted and it's going to change eventually, but I immediately thought, well, that looks like Michael Myers. I wonder if they're going to do a bunch of like references or something and have a bunch of different varieties of Buddy dolls or whatever their version is.
Listen, if Jennifer Tilly's not in it, I'm out. Sorry.
I don't think she is.
I'm anticipating that this is going to be some doo-doo brown.
Yeah, it's starting to feel
Doo-doo
that way.
stains.
Nothing about this. Nothing I've seen has intrigued or impressed me. In fact, this featurette like almost tanked what any kind of intrigue had.
My thought is still the same as it was when I first saw the trailer, which is I'm okay with robot Chuckies, but only if at some point in the movie the real Chucky shows up and takes control of all of them and has an army of Chuckies.
Tall order.
I don't think they're clever enough to do it, man.
I don't think they have the licensing to do it, and there's certain the backstage drama does not sound promising for that. But that's what, if they want me, that's what they got to do.
Evil robot.
You want the big bucks? If you want the straight chilling crew to rewrite your script, you know where to find us.
You want to be hard with us?
New Patreon.
You want to be hard with me? You're gonna make that happen. That's all I'm saying.
Hard with Randy. Let's get hard with Randy.
Hard with us.
You want to get hard with Randy? We all do.
Join Patreon now to get hard with Randy. Damn, what are we selling now?
I don't know.
That's gotta be super cheap, man. Nobody's gonna want that one. So the last bit of news I want to just touch on real quick. So the Cannes Film Festival just happened. John Carpenter was there hanging out, and they presented him with an award. Whatever. So they presented him with the Golden Coach Award. I speak French fluently, okay? Which is basically like a lifetime achievement type award. And they had like all these pictures of him hanging out backstage with like Dario Argento, and he's like giving the devil horns and stuff. John Carpenter's a badass. So they were interviewing him afterwards and stuff, and asking him like if he'd be interested in directing again, because it's obviously, I think it's been like at least a decade since he's made a movie. And he was talking about how he'd absolutely want to make a movie, and where he'd also like be open to like directing a TV show and stuff like that. So I'm wondering, since he's sort of picked up this new steam with, you know, scoring the new Halloween movie and executive producing it, and then also, you know, going on these like tours, these world tours with his freaking rock band and stuff. I'm wondering if maybe somebody's going to throw him a little cash and let him make something. That'd be pretty sweet. I'm down with it. He's getting kind of old too, so like try and squeeze one more in, maybe, you know, hopefully he's around for a long time. I would love a
swan song from him, man. I mean, yeah, hopefully there's more than that, but if he gets one swan song in, like if he could just, you know, finally make that long anticipated remake of Ghosts of Mars, I think we'll be set.
If only.
Oh, that movie is so bad.
Rob, can I throw in like a baby piece of news?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Baby
Stop me.
news.
Yes. If we've already talked about it, stop me.
Okay.
But Juice, you and I were on an episode about a movie called The Endless, right?
Mm-hmm.
By Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. Mm-hmm. He has a new movie coming out. Have you looked into it at all?
No.
Or both of them do, I guess. So it's called Synchronic. Not sure when it's coming out, but like keep in mind whenever we do eventually watch it, they were location scouting in November and they wrapped on it in like early January. So it's like a very short, quick filmmaking, but it seems kind of amazing. I'm just going to read a brief back of the box and tell you two people who are in it.
Okay.
So, Synchronic. Two New Orleans paramedics' lives are ripped apart after encountering a series of horrific deaths linked to a designer drug with bizarre otherworldly effects. And it's got motherfucking Anthony Mackie and Jamie Dornan in it. So they have like a kind of solid starting cast.
Who are those people?
Oh my God. Are you for real?
Yeah.
Okay, Anthony Mackie plays fucking, what's his name? Falcon in the Avengers.
Yeah. I did see this trailer.
Okay.
And Jamie Dornan is most notably known as playing Christian Grey in 50 Shades Grey, but he's also in a fucking incredible Netflix series with Gillian Anderson called The Fall, and everybody needs to stop what they're doing and go watch that right now.
Oh, okay.
So, just
Cool. Thank
Just
you for
saying.
that. I
You're
was
welcome.
unaware, and
that's some news.
pretty sweet.
Well, it's because I'm on like my, I don't know, years long apology tour after fucking ripping the movie apart when we watched it and then realizing I'm friends with a costume designer on the movie who's friends with the directors. And I'm like, fuck my face. Please never listen to this
Well, the
podcast,
costumes look
like,
great.
ever. So, you know, it looks great.
Yeah. That movie.
Love those
is
guys.
a
Shirts
little
were
rough.
really on point.
Yeah. Nice shirts, guys.
Thanks for letting me have that.
Thanks for
I
sharing.
like those draws, guy. No, yeah, that's cool. I
Sounds
gotta
cool.
check that out.
It takes place in New Orleans. I'm guessing that's where they shot the entire
Whoa,
thing.
Bob.
Sign me
So
up.
getting some
Pop in that
voodoo.
Q-Ch.
God
damn.
Also, there's a lot of French people in New Orleans, so it fucking makes sense.
We're developing a Q-Ch song now for straight chillin'.
Bonjour.
Che, bonjour.
So, yeah.
Buongiorno Cuce.
Fromage.
Bonjour. Hello, Q-Ch. Like you're surprised by hey, guy.
I say that every morning.
Top of the morning to you.
Wrong country.
Yeah, sorry. That's pretty much it for the news, and that's going to be it for us here at Straight Chilling. We didn't have any voicemails this week.
Oh,
but
I forgot. Women can't understand the Q-Ch.
Okay.
That's a men
Okay,
thing.
here we
Okay.
go.
we didn't have any
Pregnancy is
voicemails this week, but if you want to call in and leave us a voicemail, you can hit us up at 904-638-3231. We're going to be back next week with a brand new episode. We're going to be talking about a Patreon pick, a movie called Vampire's Kiss, as was chosen by Miles. Thanks, Miles.
Thanks, Miles.
Not the bees.
Not the bees. Yeah, I'm excited about this. I've never seen it. Never seen this one.
Accent, not the bees.
Anything about the bees.
No.
Tammy, thank you so much for joining us again. It's always a pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah, I felt really welcome.
Sam.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank
Very, very good. No
you
sarcasm
for adding
here.
to our female perspective. I appreciate it.
Oh,
Love you guys.
Double fingers.
one
and
heart.
Love you guys
Middle
always.
fingers.
So until next week, please rate, review, and subscribe to us on iTunes. You can follow us on Twitter at str8_chilling. We're on Instagram at Straight Chilling Podcast. You can send us an email through our website, straightchillingpodcast.com. If you want to join us on our Slack channel, just hit us up on any one of those social media platforms. Let me know, and I can send you a link to join on Slack. Talk about the movie of the week. We talk about Joe Bob. We talk about Game of Thrones. Talk about anything and everything we want to talk about. And I think that's going to do it for us here this week. Until next time, as always, everybody, please keep chilling.
I want to play a game.